Hey, Chris Brown here. Going to show you today the basics of a 2.7 liter Chrysler motor, doing the water pump on it. So, pretty involved job. I think the book time's like 5 hours on it or so. I'm doing a thermostat also, so that adds, I think, like another 1.5 hours or something. But so this is a 2.7 liter dual overhead cam motor. It's in a 2008 Dodge Charger. They also had this engine in the Intrepid, the Avenger, a lot of other vehicles, Dodge Chrysler vehicles. This is, you know, a rear-wheel drive car, so it makes it a little easier, a little more room in here. So right now you can see I got it torn apart. Couple odds and ends here. Obviously I got the intake covered. You don't want nuts and bolts dropping down there. Same with the oil pan where it's open down here. Got that covered up. And it's a good idea to keep some cardboard in front of the radiator because you don't want to ding that up. So you start by removing the fan, the upper intake plenum, both valve covers, which you can see I've already cleaned up somewhat and replaced the gaskets. As you can see, this engine's really sludged up. I mean, it's pretty nasty in there. This thing's probably had a stucco. Oh, look at that pile back there. Yuck. Up here. Anyway, then you proceed to tear apart the front end, or the front of the motor here. I'm going to take the pulley off here. It's one bolt holding it on. I think it's like a 21 millimeter. But it's a press fit on there, so you need a 3-prong puller to get it off. As you can see, it grabs on the back side of this. Not too bad on that. And take your timing cover off. That's what that looks like. I've already cleaned that up. Put a new oil seal on there. Anyway, then you take your timing chain adjuster out, and tensioner, which goes in the side of the head here. And this is what that looks like. Show you the basics on that real quick. I know I'm kind of jumping around here, but just giving you some tidbits of information. It's a hydraulic tensioner, so there's a little ball in there. I don't know if you can focus on that, but basically there's a special tool you're supposed to use. You depress that ball and then compress this with your hand, and the oil will come out the back side of it. And then to reset it, you basically push it down and it locks in place. When you reinstall it and you have the engine all properly timed, you'll actually just push in on that plunger and it'll spring out, and then it's set and ready to go. It'll get oil pressure, and make sure when you look in it, you know, before putting it back in, that this ball in there is seated properly, because if you were to push it in there too far and it wasn't seated well, it wouldn't hold oil pressure in there when the engine shuts off, and it would drain out, and you'd have a noisy timing chain condition when it's cold, and probably end up jumping off at some point too, so that wouldn't be good. This is an interference engine. So anyway, back to the water pump. Once you get all of that off, the water pump mounts inside the block right there. Get a good picture of all the bolts there. This pump was leaking. Here's the old pump. It's driven by the timing chain, obviously. And so when this weep hole starts leaking on this pump, it comes down. This bore here comes out the back side into this port, through this port here into the block, and then it comes out the other side somewhere down here. So this one was leaking, and yeah, so that's what we're doing. Trying to think anything else I might tell you about this. I'm getting ready to put it together now. Yeah, any questions, feel free to comment on the video. Like I said, I didn't really go into too much detail on this one. Just figured I'd show you the basics of it, so you got an idea what you're looking at when you tear it down. It's not a very complicated job, but you do need a couple special tools, like a 3-jaw puller, a decent one, or they actually make a special Chrysler one for taking that pulley off, the crankshaft pulley. Otherwise, pretty much just the basics, and yeah. Alright, thanks for watching.